Kevin Feige has talked about the future of Marvel and how they've got it mapped out.
Up to 2028.
Up to 2028. What do you think of that?
It's way too far in advance.
I agree. It is very far in advance, but I think it's good to have a rough idea where you're going. I mean, these things are subject to change, but you can now work stuff in now which comes into play later. I mean, as long as it's not choked down and self-referential and it kind of bogs in on itself or whatever, I think it's fine. I think it's good to have an overall outline. I mean, by then we'll have like 8 different versions of Batman and
right.
Or whatever. But no, I think it's good to think.
Maybe they're sort of following the pathway of like a Harry Potter film.
Yep.
Where they can get some like kid actors or whatever and then have them grow into whatever role. I think that could be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
In 2028, Robert Downey Jr. will be 63 years old.
Great.
So yeah,
there'll be a new Iron Man by then.
Oh, no doubt. They've talked about before how they're doing it like a James Bond kind of thing where they can just cycle somebody out.
Yeah.
Which they've been known to do in the past.
But at the same time, I reckon Robert Downey Jr. will look great at 63.
Absolutely.
If you said he was 63 now, I'd be like, oh yeah.
Wait.
I don't know what that means. But I think he'll look good as a 63-year-old.
Sure.
How good does bloody Harrison Ford look at 63? He probably looked great.
He looks all right.
How old is he now? He's like 70-something?
I think, he's 72 or something
Okay,
like that.
right.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, sure. Look, I'm not against it by any stretch, but I think they also got to look at it from the perspective of, are the kids going to come out to see a 63-year-old Iron Man?
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'll get whoever's young and cool then. I can't think of... Who's a kid actor who everyone loves?
Macaulay Culkin. That reference is still fresh, right?
So fresh.
Okay, good. Well, although, like, comic book wise, because that's 14 years.
Yeah.
Comic book wise, you know how there's a sliding time scale for comic books. Everything in the Marvel universe has basically happened in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's weird that they've widened that out even further.
Well, that's true. But you know what else there is to it? Over the next 14 years, there will be a lot of comic book stories written that they'll want to incorporate into these movies. So this will be subject to change based on that. But there's going to be a lot of stories which will no doubt influence these movies. We've got a whole lot of comic books that we haven't even read yet, Mason, that we'll probably think are okay.
Sure.
So,
So make that a movie.
Yeah.
Something we think is okay-ish.
Yeah. Oh, also, Kevin Feige, also, it was mentioned that he was having a discussion with James Gunn about the upcoming Guardians of the Galaxy movie. And they're talking about the inclusion of a villain that they're going to put in, which they didn't name, but they were having an argument. James Gunn was like, we're going to put...
Taserface?
It's Taserface, yes.
Okay, good.
No, it's... this villain is in a throne, and it's got rockets on the bottom, so it's a flying throne. And Kevin Feige's like, just put like gravity discs. It doesn't have to be rockets or whatever.
Right.
What villain do you think it is who would have a big rocket throne?
Well, rocket throne.
I'd like to think it's like a 21st century version of the wishing chair.
Sure, yeah.
The classic Enid Blyton tale.
I
mean, people are assuming Thanos. Because I'd imagine he's the kind of guy that would have a rocket throne.
Yeah, totally.
Sure,
you could have a throne. I'm trying to think of a character who... See, I would... Metron from the DC universe, one of the new gods. He's got a rocket throne.
They'd get him in.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the Marvel version of him.
I got one for you.
Okay, I'm ready.
I think it is Thanos.
Yeah.
But what about MODOK? It's not really a throne he's in. He's in a kind of...
In Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, why not?
No, he's very Earth-based.
He is very Earth-based, but he looks incredibly weird. And I think it'd make more sense to say he's got a space influence than this horrible monster, whatever. What happened to that guy? What's his deal?
He's an AIM experiment.
Okay.
And he's got a lady friend called Modam.
Oh, I know that. Yeah. I remember first seeing him in the Iron Man 90s TV show and being like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like this horrible monster.
I think that's part of his strategic, that's part of his battle strategies. He just rolls up and be like,
what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. I also thought it could be C-3PO from Return of the Jedi when he flies around in the chair.
Yeah, cool, yeah. Could be R2-D2 with his little jets.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, we're good at this, aren't we?
It could be a villain from a James Bond film.
Yeah.
And James Bond has pulled the ejector seat on the car and it's ejected the bad guy from the car and he's just shot into space and he's been flying through space forever. And now he's a Marvel villain. He's achieved immortality.
I hope that's how he explains his origin as well. It's like, well, I was in a car, then I was shot into space, and now I'm a Marvel villain. I would love that.
Yeah, see? There you go.